What is going on, guys? Today we're back with another video. In our last video, you guys saw that we buffed the paint on our $400 Ranger. And in the previous video before that, I talked about how the engine is blown and I've been looking for an engine. Well, today is the day that I actually did go and I got an engine. We were in a bit of a time crunch. We were supposed to leave and go get my friend Alexander and my friend Jason around 11:40 to 12 so that we could get out there quick, but they ended up having things to do and I ended up sleeping in a bit, and we didn't end up getting out there till 3, and they close at 6, and I've never pulled an engine before. My friend Jason's done it once with Alexander, and Alexander's done it once on his Corvair. Other than that, we really didn't have any experience, and to unbolt a transmission and get stuff out and just disconnect everything, get that engine out, was going to be a bit of a task, and I wasn't able to bring this camera, and I was not able to really I got some clips on my phone of us taking it out, but other than that, there was no way for me to really film because we were in a time crunch of about 3 hours to get this engine out of the truck and paid for. So, grand total, we got to the pick and pull. There was tons of Rangers. Every single Ranger that we had seen, though, that was a 2.3 liter inline 4, had already had the engine gone or the transmission gone. We ended up finding one, thank God. It was an old green one. Come to find out, it was a 2001, and it all ended up working out. We got the engine out. Here's some of those clips. Okay, guys, so we're currently at the pick and pull, and we have found this beautiful Ranger here with an engine. It is a 2000 model, but from I think 94 to 2004, it was the same model. The only difference, I think, actually this has power steering, mine doesn't. This also has an AC compressor, mine doesn't have AC. But today in this video is probably just gonna be more clips because there's so much going on, and we have 3 hours till this place closes, so there's not gonna be too much filming. But yeah, the pick and pull gave us this engine hoist right here, and yeah, we're gonna get this engine out soon, and I'll keep you guys updated. So the truck's on the hoist right now. We're trying to load it up. It's all broken though. Engine's fine. We're gonna make a trip to Harbor Freight and O'Reilly. Bolted up. It's sitting here now. It is starting to rain, so luckily we finished before that. So yeah. So yeah, those are the clips that I took there at the pick and pull. That's what I was able to get for us. For you guys to watch. Other than that, we came back here, and on the way home it started to pour down. We live in Portland, as it's a very rainy place. It's either, our weather here is very bipolar. It's either very nice out or it's very rainy. It can go from 65 degrees and sunny to 52 degrees and like cold and rainy. So we were having to deal with that too. So we got this engine hoist. As you could see, they let us use one of their big engine hoists. And then, when we got back, I used my own that I'm borrowing from someone, because I do not currently have my own. And then that balancing thing I bought from Harbor Freight for 50 bucks. I love Harbor Freight. But as you guys can see, we have a new engine, thank God. But upon further inspection, my truck currently has, the blown engine is a 2.3 liter inline 4. It's a 1996 Ford Ranger. Come to find out, the engine that we got was from a 2000, but I remember the year that they switched over, but they switched from a 2.3 liter inline 4 to a 2.5 liter inline 4. No biggie, we looked it up. The only difference is the crankshaft is a bit bigger, but it is a bolt-in swap. We don't really have to do anything. The only thing we have to change is there's engine mounts on my engine that we have to take off and put onto the new one. And then, other than that, as you can see in some of those clips, actually, I'll show you guys those clips now.
Surprising to me.
Almost there. 2.5 liter swap.
Get that off. Anyway.
Now we just gotta swap that for that. It's a 2.5 liter, and that's a 2.3. Okay, so as you guys can see in those clips, I've just kind of showed some of the things. The engine I got was, of course, missing some things as it coming from pick and pull. As it was missing one of the coil packs, I had to take off the alternator, but we kind of used two engines to make one good engine, and we're kind of still in the process of that, and I'll go into more depth about that later today. It is currently 4 in the morning. I have a really bad thing for filming videos at 4 a.m. But yeah, In the end, it did take us about 2.5 hours to 3 hours to get the entire engine out. Luckily for us, someone had already taken the transmission, so we did not have to deal with those bolts. It just kind of came out. And we just had to deal with the 4 bolts, which for breaker bar and some penetrating fluid was no biggie. But now that I have the engine here today, when we got back and we had dinner, it stopped raining, and we were able to actually get out our engine hoist out of our trailer and begin getting the engine out and working that out into the garage. Jason had to go home, and Alexander came over. Oh, well, he was still here, and we began taking things off of the engines that's still in the truck and putting them onto the new engine. Currently, that engine's sitting on the oil pan and a paint can right now in my garage, because I do not currently have an engine stand, and I'm not planning on buying one, because this truck so far, I spent $400 on the truck, and today I spent $375 on the new engine, because I purchased a 1-year warranty for $100 for it, because I think that's a very smart thing. That is going to be a good selling feature for this truck when I go to sell it, is that if something goes wrong with the engine, because the inline 4s I know are notorious for blowing head gaskets, and once you go into that, if it's bad and you don't know, it hydro locks, and you have a 1-year warranty. That's a good thing. So that's good. That's nice. And then I got some clips, as you guys saw, of just moving some pieces over. I am going to film later. The reason I couldn't film too much today was just because of, as I said, we were in that time crunch of trying to get everything here before it either started pouring down raining or they closed and I wasn't able to finish the job. So thank God we got everything situated. We now have the new engine. My estimate for the truck to be running and driving is probably going to be either, well, it is currently 4 a.m. Tuesday, May 12th. My thinking is I think we could have the truck either running by Saturday or Sunday this weekend or next week at some point. I am very hopeful that it is going to be this weekend. It would be nice to go on a drive with that. And of course, you guys will be coming along for the first drive of the 96 Ranger. I'm going to learn how to drive stick in that car. I've driven stick before in Alexander's Corvair, but not that good at it. It's a 3-speed manual. And I did okay, but you gotta do it more than once to get it right. I stalled it a couple times. But I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to actually finally getting this engine so that we can bring some more content for you guys and just getting all of this situated together. And it was at that exact moment that my SD card filled up. I really do have to buy a bigger SD card because, as we can see, 8 gigabytes just is not going to be enough, even though I typically use my iPhone 8 here to film and not really my camera. My camera's more for just like sit down, talk to you guys what's going to happen, and then the phone is for rolling the clips and stuff, because this actually shoots pretty good. I think the back camera, the back camera can shoot 4K. It's 30 frames per second. I don't know how fast it is. I'm not a big camera guy. I just know it looks good and it looks okay. So that's all that really matters, and the microphone's good. So our plan now is, as you guys saw, this is going to be a big thing. Swapping an engine is not something you can get done in a day. I don't care who you are. If maybe you have the right tools, you know what you're doing, you've done it before, you can get an engine in and out in a day. But for in our case of having to move parts over, it's not going to happen in a day, especially on an old car where the pieces are stuck and we have to cut some stuff. So this is going to be like maybe a 4-part series, maybe even a 6-part. So since it's going to be a 6-part, this is the end of part 1. So part 2 will be up. We're trying to do 1 to 2 videos probably a week right now. This engine swap, I'll probably have 2 to 3 a week. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in part 2 of the engine swap.